The council and Pit Lover was left in rumbles after the massive attack by Jinx after she harnessed the power of the Hextech in her bombs, as she caused widespread destruction in the council, as the bodies of the members were all around as Jace and Mel sought for survivors. Jace found the body of Victor and tried to revive him with the Hextech. Caitlyn mum, Cassandra died as a result of the battle as the other council members gathered to address the matter at hand. Silco was dead and the Undercity was left without a ruler as the council decides to take advantage of it and launch an invasion, although draw the line on using Hextech only as a final resort. Caitlyn was going through her mum's letter as her father came to comfort her. She was sad because she had a shot at Jinx but hesitated. Her father handed the Kiraman key to her as her mother legacy was now hers. Vi came around as she hugged and comforted Caitlyn as she now realized that Jinx was no longer Powder, her little sis. Vi offered her assistance against Jinx, but as Caitlyn offered her a badge to help by becoming a member of the Enforcers, Vi got angry as it was the Enforcers that killed her parents and she left the scene. Mel met with Jace, asking for the well-being of Victor as Jace responded that Victor was breathing and his pulse was normal, but he was still out of consciousness. The Hextech seemed to be evolving in Victor and was the only thing keeping him alive. Jace wondered how the explosion was able to cause such damage to Victor, but not to him as they were both together when the explosion occurred. Caitlyn was alone as she remembered how she had a shot at Jinx and couldn't take it. Jace met with Caitlyn to comfort her about the death of her mom as all Caitlyn felt was intense hatred for Jinx and was also mad as Vi declined enlisting as an enforcer. Vi was drinking in the streets when some of the junior enforcers approached her. Vi thought it was one of their random search protocols when Maddie, one of the enforcers, told her how she is respected and seen as a legend among the enforcers as they shared tales of how she took on Silco and also how Caitlyn fought for her enlistment. Vi was comforted as Maddie told her the miles Caitlyn went to ensure that Vi got enlisted. The people gathered as the counselor Mel addressed the crowd commemorating the lives of the counselors, including Counselor Cassandra, who lost their lives due to the recent attack. Vi attended the event as she spotted a suspicious individual disguised as an enforcer and followed, but she couldn't follow him further as she was stopped by other enforcers. The disguised enforcer attacked Mel and shot in the air, signaling the rest of his members to attack. The people ran for their lives as Vi and Jace tried to fend off their attackers while the enforcers, including Maddie, tried leading the counselors to safety when some of their craft were crashed by the enforcers. Vi assisted Caitlyn, who was weighed down by one of her attackers, and together, they were able to take him down. One of the perpetrators of the attack sought for Jace as he hid and attacked her from behind, but as he inflicted no damage he tried running and was slashed from behind and was almost killed but got rescued by Vi, and together, they were all able to take down the attackers. It was a bloody mess as the attack was orchestrated by the followers of Silco as they attacked on the Memorial Day to scare Caitlyn into stopping the invasion, but Vi met with Caitlyn as all they managed to do was to piss her off as Vi hanged around and comforted her. Caitlyn reminisced on the large void her mother left for her, and as the council discussed about how to solve the crisis, Caitlyn barged in as she was prepared for a full-scale invasion of the Undercity to locate Jinx and take down any followers of Silco. Caitlyn and her enforcers harnessed the Hextech technology which would be used in their attack, and Vi this time enlisted and joined Caitlyn enforcers in the invasion of the Undercity. A little girl was chased in the Undercity by 3 armed men, and in a desperate attempt to escape she clashed with Jinx, who took out the men. The little girl noticed Jinx was a wanted fellow, but as she had nowhere else to go decides to follow Jinx. Cervica met with some Kimbaran of the Undercity as she urges them not to fight themselves, but work together as their real enemy was the people of the top side, Pit Lover. Smeech suggested they just hand over Jinx, but Cervica declined as they don't hand over their people. Cervica was thinking about the void left by Silco when Jinx paid her a visit, and as Cervica noticed, she meant no harm. She became calm, and after they had a nice chat about Silco together, Jinx left as Smeech and his goons followed her secretly. Jace was asleep when Victor woke up and met with Jace and was surprised as to how he was still alive. On learning that Jace used Hextech in reviving him, he was mad as the Hextech killed Skye and Jace was supposed to destroy it. Jace informed Victor that he was going to resign from the council and stay in the lab with Victor, but Victor realized that their path was diverged as he said his goodbyes to Jace and left, leaving Jace extremely devastated. More people were brought to the resistance camp daily as the capacity was getting filled, and Aiko, their leader, realized that their tree was dying as he spoke to Heimerdinger about how the tree is their source of food, fresh air, and livelihood, and he ought to find a solution. Heimerdinger sneaked into his old lab with Aiko, but they were spotted by Jace as Jace was surprised to find him back at his lab. Heimerdinger introduced Aiko to Jace as his new student, and as Jace began running tests on the leaf of the corrupted tree, Heimerdinger was shocked as he finds certain traces of Hextech used as he asked for Victor's whereabout. Jinx was hanging out when Caitlyn, Vi, and her enforcers arrived with poisonous gas, but Jinx was able to hide and not get spotted as they moved around in search of her. Jinx had a clear shot at Vi, but she shed tears as she couldn't pull the trigger as she distracted the enforcers and fled the scene still in tears. Jinx had just escaped their sight when she got ambushed by Smeech goons who ambushed and restrained her and other to hand her over to the enforcers, but Sevika arrived and attacked the goons, freeing Jinx from her restraint as Jinx handed Sevika her fixed cybernetic arm, in which she used in finishing Smeech off. The little girl from earlier witnessed the whole scene as Jinx planned to finish off what was left of her family. Victor was walking around the impoverished city when he got ambushed as the people planned to rob him, but Victor, sensing the pain and suffering in this people, stretched out his hands and healed the man before him, urging that the people need not suffer anymore. Caitlyn enforcers, while looking for Jinx, found he not one of Smeech's men as they freed and questioned him as he told of Jinx's massive plan in the pipe as Caitlyn led the enforcers, and they decide to capture and neutralize her. Amara paid a visit to Ambessa as she used her magic to restrain Ambessa and her guard, as she knew of Ambessa's plan for Pit Lover and tried to put an end to it, but Ambessa's guard broke free of his restraints and Ambessa was able to break free, killing the witch. Vi had a word with Caitlyn about leaving the other enforcers behind while they faced Jinx alone because she fears Jinx might find a way to use them against her. Ambessa met with Salo as she urges him to rally every house and family with influence, which he agreed. Mel met with Lest as she overheard Mel's mom, Ambessa, discussing with Salo and told Mel all she heard. Jace, after much test, told Aiko that wild runes corrupted the tree, and after many of their tests, the Arcane had began to show signs below in the tree. Heimerdinger descended below with Jace and Aiko, and they were horrified as what they saw seems to be an ancient form of magic. Vi and Caitlyn was able to locate Jinx as Vi decides to draw out Jinx while Caitlyn takes the shot, but Sevika happened to be present as she attacked Caitlyn while Vi takes on Jinx. The fight was intense as Sevika was injured and Caitlyn shot off Jinx's finger as Vi pinned her down, and Caitlyn was about ending her when the little girl stood in the way. So Vi had no choice but to stop Caitlyn from taking the shot, and Sevika created an escape route for them, and Jinx and the others were able to escape. Caitlyn was so mad at Vi for not allowing her take the shot as Vi realized Caitlyn was a changed person and was becoming more like Jinx. Mel and Delora were sad as they observed how the city got polluted with gray, and as Mel left to find a solution, both Mel and Delora were consumed by what seemed to be Amara's magic. Salo was able to gather the house and families of influence as Ambessa was there to address them. Ambessa lied to them, saying how she was conversing with the Merchant Guild, Amara, about rebuilding when two Zonite assassins attacked, as she did all she could but was unable to save the merchant. She addressed them, saying the Zonite in the Undercity are the cause of their problems, and it was now time for them to declare martial law and appoint a strong general to lead them until the threat is vanquished. The general will have Ambessa and the Noxdion soldiers at her disposal, as Ambessa nominated Caitlyn Kierman to take on the role. The rest of the house supported Caitlyn to take on the role, and as she steps forward, Ambessa urges her to use the chance to avenge her mother and other council members, and she was appointed general. Stay tuned for more episodes of Arcane Season 2, and subscribe to its Mythical for more mind-blowing recaps like this. Thanks for watching.